start of a new year, we always like to make sure that our craft room is sparkling before we start some new projects. So what we've done is we've compiled 4 of our team members' craft rooms so you can take a sneak peek and decide if you want to use some of their organizational tips for your own.
This is the little walkway I have into my craft room. As you can see, it is called the crafts department. I do love this little decal from Altenew. I have another decal covering a very messy box on the side, and you can see just how well that covers it. So as we go in, you can see the size of my craft room. Now it's around about the size of a garage. I say round about the size of a garage, it was a garage. So we converted this from a garage. So the window where it is at the bottom, you can see that that was where the garage door was. So you can actually fit a car in here. Not necessarily a very big one, but a car would fit. So first up, let's go to my stamp cupboard. This is one of my favorite cupboards in the whole of the room because this is where all of my Altenew stamps are. Now I do arrange these in the color-coded orders. So as you can see, the stamps do have a color coding on there. So there's like florals, sentiments and things like that. And once I have then separated them into the categories, I then do them alphabetically so they're easier for me to find. So I do find it easier to use like plastic bins to keep these stamps in position. And then I can just kind of drag the stamp bin out and find the stamp that I need. My dies are all at the bottom layer of here because they are heavier. I decided to pop them where they're more sturdy. I also do have the stencils in here as well as my embossing folders. And the little decals from Altenew that says stamps and embossing folders and things like that. I think they're very handy to add onto your shelves too. So I do have my paper packs at the top, my Altenew ones, as well as all the little minis in that little mini bin. You can see that this cupboard is particularly full, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put more stamps when we do come out with more stamps, because trying to find another place for these beauties is going to be a little bit difficult. Now, if we move away from there and we look at my 2 carts, I just love the color of these. But these are the carts that I have the supplies in that I use more often. So I have lots of different things in here that I do need to grab on more than one occasion, and I don't really want to get up off my seat. So this is where I keep my most used supplies. So the bottom of the right-hand cart holds the things that we haven't yet released. At the bottom of the other cart, that's where I house all of the cards that I've created. So that's where they all live until I do something with them. Then I have the second layer of this left cart. This is my coloring medium. So I have all of my artist markers in here, all of my watercolors, my pencils, and also my watercolor brush markers. So all of my coloring things that I grab are from this part here. On the second layer of the right-hand cart, I do keep my cutting machine and a couple of stamping mats so I can be able to grab those quickly and easily. At the top of this cart, I have the things that I'm working on. So as you may know, I do work with all of the creativity kits. So I kind of keep those in bags together while I'm working on those ones. I also keep a stash of panels, so card panels and card bases at the top of this one too. So this one is all the things that I couldn't possibly live without. So I have my stamping blocks in here. I have sprays that I grab all of the time, my watercolor brushes, anti-static powder, and also some baby wipes just so I can clean my stamps off really quickly and easily without having to move from my chair. Also, I couldn't live without not having my obsidian and my embossing ink right at hand. So to the side of my desk on the wall, I do have a pegboard. Now this keeps a lot of things. So in the little pouch bag that you can see hanging, I keep my misties in there and also my scoring tool. I have my scissors up here, lots of pens, glues, and my rulers live in the little pot. I have my adhesives hanging down as well as my little heat tool stored there. There's some little things to clean my stamps, as well as little odd memorabilia in the little pots. My little mini blossom lives up here. I do love that he looks so pretty just where he is. And at the top shelf, I do have some really great adhesives that I use all the time. And that really great decal is one of my favorites. I just love the font on that one, and I think that it works really, really well where it is. So now we can move around onto my desk. So this is the setup that I use for filming. You can see that I have lots of lights. There are, in fact, 4 of them. I have my little video recorder on an arm, as well as the 4 lights that I have attached to my desk. I do have 2 pretty overhead ones. And if we turn around the desk, you can see that I have lots and lots of wires. I try to disguise them, but that spaghetti junction right there is just not going to go away. We can see here that this is where I keep all of my kids' craft stuff. So over here is where I have my beautiful rainbow coordinated ink pads. So I did start with the reds and I go through color coded order. Now this cabinet you will not be able to find anywhere. This is one of a kind. It was made by my dad. I asked him to make me one, and it took him forever to create this. He told me after he made it that he will never, ever, ever make me one again because it was so fiddly. I really do appreciate that he made it for me, and I love it, and it is used daily. So as of now, this does store all of my large inks from Altenew. So when we do come out with more inks, I don't know where I'm going to cut them because I'm really quite scared what my dad would say if I asked him to make me another one. Up here we have some things that kind of make me happy. So as you know, I'm a lover of Alice and rainbows. This is where I keep my scrapbooking stuff. So it is close at hand, and it's there to remind me that I do need to scrapbook at times. I have another cutter over there because, you know, a girl needs more than one cutter, right? I have an electric die cutter. This is my die cutting machine, which is electric also, and a foiling machine. So this over here is my cupboard where I can't really put any of this stuff anywhere else around the house. So I keep most of the cards that I really like at the top. Here is my beautiful bouquet that I made for my wedding. I really do love it. It's made of buttons and pearls and little things that I picked up along the way. This is where I mostly keep my Alice stuff. If you know me, you know that I do love Alice in Wonderland, and I take inspiration from this cupboard too. You know, if I'm feeling my mojo's gone a little bit, this is where I go. I have a quick look in here, and with all the bright colors and all the little random things that are in here, I'm sure it gets my mojo going at times. This bottom cupboard is where I keep all of my scrapbooking stuff. So I have all of my 6x6 papers. I have photos that I need to scrap. I have lots of little random die cuts and stamps that I can use on my scrapbooking really quickly and easily. I also have a 12x12 paper storage in here. So this is where I keep my Altenew collections, and I keep them in a shelf each, so they're easy to grab when I do need to scrap with them. Moving over to my wall of drawers. Now, a lot of these drawers are not very organized, and they do have some really random things in there. So this is one of my embellishment drawers where I keep my twines and all of my little sequins in that. Here I have some more embossing powders, and this is where I keep my wax sealing things. This is my Altenew embellishment drawer. So this houses all of my Altenew embellishments. So all the things that come from the scrapbook kits that are not in my scrapbook drawer, as well as all the pretty stickers and also my lovely enamel dots. Just a few more acrylic blocks in here. We also have some stamp cleaners in there just to keep them all together. All of my ink blending tools are in here, so my large ones, my small ones. There's some foam blending ones in there, as well as some finger daubers. This drawer is where I keep all of my little mini inks, so they're all in little tins and really greatly color coded in there, as well as extra little things that I have around, so palette knives, also some masking fluid and some embossing paste too. This drawer here is where I keep all of my coloured cardstock and some like speciality cardstock like the vellum and the gold beautiful cardstock from Altenew. So this is where all of my coloured cardstock goes. The drawer underneath is where I keep all of my white cardstock and my beautiful watercolor cardstock. So all the white stuff is in the bottom one and all the coloured one is at the top. This drawer here houses all of my alcohol inks as well as my sprays. I try to keep them in rainbow order, but the more I grab them and then just throw them back in the drawer, the less rainbow-y they look. As I couldn't fit everything into the other drawer, this is where I keep my watercolor brush marker refills and also a little palette just so it's next to it. I also have a whole drawer just dedicated to the fabulous washi tape from Altenew. There is so many different designs here and I just love rifling through this one to see which one to use. So that is it for the craft room tour. I have to say that this is probably the room where I spend most of my time creating projects and even crafting with my kids. But we do hope that this video has inspired you to get in your craft room and get creating.
I'm very excited to give you a close look and invite you to walk through my space, but I'm hoping that this give you some ideas on organizing products as well as storing them and how you can utilize your space to make it more useful towards your crafting needs. So this area is probably the most exciting area that you'll get to see in my craft room. Everything has its bin, so they are organized by category and they're also organized by alphabetical. So you'll see I have some embossing folders here, my stencils. The very bottom shelf has all of my 6x8 Altenew stamp sets and I coordinate them by category. So all of the different categories are in a one bin. So I organize them by alphabetical orders and Project Kit gets its own space with all of the coordinating products that comes in a kit. So this is how I organize. I like to keep everything in their packaging, and if the packages gets ripped off, I usually replace it with a stamp pocket or storage pockets. These hold all of my alcohol markers that I have, as well as some of the watercolor brush markers right above that in a white jars or white containers. As you can see, those little bears actually is from my childhood. I've kept it for over 20 years now. So something that's meaningful to dress up your area. The first drawer I have is all of my hot foil rolls, all the plates needed for hot foiling. Next drawer I'm going to show you holds all of my embellishment sequins, holds some of my washi tapes, my favorite enamel dots. We have our metallic threads as well as lovely sequins from Altenew. These hold all of my Altenew inks. So all these mini blending tools coordinate with each colors that I have. I actually printed circle label on my own. It took a long time, but they're very, very handy. I currently only use these mini blending brushes rather than other sizes. It gives a really good coverage. The right below are all of my cardstock that are pre-cut, and you have those handy for your crafting needs. Next drawer holds my go-to supplies for heat embossing, as well as my most used paper trimmer and some of the stamp positioner that I have. My stamp organization supplies. The next one is a big roller that I like to keep and roll close to me when I am working on things. All of my acrylic blocks that I use for stamps. My favorite masking tape, double-sided rolls, foam tape roll, the stamp cleaner, glue tapes, repositionable tape, liquid glue, and other glue dots. One of my basic essential needs for stamping is a stamp conditioning eraser. Below is my 2x3 stamps and 3x4 stamps. I love all of my 6x3 gradient cardstocks and glitter cardstocks, along with our mini blossom die cutting machine. Bottom has all of my pre-made cards, envelopes, stamps, and my personalized stamp sets that I like to use when sending out cards. The drawer right next to it has some of my favorite things to use when I'm making teas. So I have two more Alex drawer and hold some of my personal items. So I like to add some personal touches throughout the area that I am working because this is my space. I want to make sure I have it the way that I want. There are also some stamps that my husband framed for me when I designed a few stamp sets for Altenew years ago. These drawers hold some of the mixed media coloring medium product. We have a lovely jar of embossing paint that'll last you forever, and I love using those with the re-inkers, alcohol inks, ink sprays, and mix them up. I also have some of the alcohol inks. I think I have all of alcohol inks from Altenew. The next one holds all of my watercolor products. I love watercolor medium, so I have various types of watercoloring products that I like to keep. Color pencil, the brush markers, along with some of the watercolor paper that I have bought over the years. It also holds some of the watercoloring tubes. Right below holds all of our adhesive, and the very bottom drawer holds all of my watercolor empty tins, brush holders, and half pans, as well as some of the bows that I like to use. So these are some of the close-up. I hope you enjoyed.
My crafting space has to have multiple functions, and one of them is a recording studio because I do videos for YouTube, for social media, for different workshops and classes, and I need to have my filming set up. And for me, it just works out best if I have it set up all the time. So anytime I'm in my craft room, there are things everywhere. I have this apparatus, which I like to use for Facebook Live. It holds my phone. It has a ring light that I kind of tip down onto my project to help light up my desk, even if the lighting is bad that day. I only have one window up in the craft room, and it doesn't provide the most light. Really, not a lot of light comes in through this window. So I have to work a lot with unnatural lighting, unfortunately, but it does help to have a couple different light sources. So I do have a big lamp over there, which I'm sure you'll see sometime around this tour. I've got a ring light in front of me. That's a separate ring light than the one I use here for my Facebook Lives. And I forgot to mention, the reason why I like this for the Facebook Lives is I can hook up my iPad into it. So that helps me scroll through comments as I'm filming, because my phone, which I usually film, or my computer with a webcam pointing downwards, sometimes it makes it hard to do both. So I like being able to read the comments on a separate device. So I've got that set up. I also have my microphone stand here, and it's in the frame right now, but when I'm filming, I'm always careful to try to get it just out of the view of the camera. I would like to update my recording audio at some point, so if you have any tips, Tasneem, definitely let me know, because I would love to get a new mic. So as far as my desk, this is actually the cleanest it's been in a while. Usually there are little pieces of tape and paper scraps everywhere and half-done projects and things all over the place, but I did recently tidy things up, so it's looking a little more presentable right now. And I also have some of my most used supplies and tools on my desk. So that includes my ink blending brushes, which I'll show you a little bit closer soon. I've got my paper trimmer. I have my Crafter's Essential Cutting and Alignment Mat. I've got my new favorite tool, which is, of course, the stamp wheel. And I've got my pens and some watercoloring supplies, and I have my white cardstock. These plus my black ink are always on my desk at all times. So on this side of the desk, you can see some of the other things that I have behind me, including all of this storage, which these are Billy bookcases from IKEA. The one in the middle right here is, I believe, from Target, and I keep everything white just so that it's easier for me to make sure everything goes together. because I buy them from different places and I want to make sure that it's all coordinated. My accent color is this lovely like tealish blue color, which you'll see in a couple places around the room, sometimes a little more bluish, sometimes a little more greenish, but I really do like that color. So I think that with the white really looks cool together. I also have this pillow, which Tasneem, you remember this. This was from one of our trade shows that we went to. It was in the booth and I asked you if I could have it and I was so happy to take this home. So I've got this in here, which is really comfy and cozy on my chair. And I have this ink blending brush holder, which my husband actually built for me. He did it custom because of the unique shape of our large ink blending brushes. And it also stores the tiny brushes on top. So these are the angled detail brushes. And I also have storage for the mini blending brushes and the small ink blending brushes. So they're all here, very close for me to grab, so it's easy while I'm crafting. So Tasneem, this part is uniquely Jen. It's uniquely me because I do have a bunch of wigs and hats and heads up behind me. And as you know, I do a lot of cosplay and I make costumes and I have a huge, at least in my opinion, a huge collection of wigs. And this is not all of them. These are the only ones that fit above in my storage of the craft room. But I have plenty more wigs, plenty more hats, and I'm running out of places to figure out how to store them. But right now they're up there, and it's fun because some of those hats I've either altered or created myself from scratch for different costumes. And you never know when a wig is handy. I have definitely worn wigs when it wasn't Halloween, when I wasn't at a convention, when I wasn't doing an event with a costume. I just like wigs. I like little fun hats. So they are there behind me. And also I'll give you some close-ups of some of the storage that I do have for my stamps and for my dies. And I like having everything behind me and open so it's easy to access. I had considered when I started buying supplies to organize my craft room of maybe having things in drawers, but I just know again how I work and continually opening drawers and closing them wasn't really going to work for me. I wanted to have everything at my fingertips. So most of the supplies are out and seen and ready to be used. And this is not all of the stamps and supplies that I have. I own everything that Altenew has ever released. Yes, it's amazing. I have to be honest, it is so incredible, but no, I don't have any room to store everything. So I do rent out a storage unit and that's where everything else goes. So if I need one of our older sets for a video or for a class or just for fun because I want to use it, we have to go into this storage room and get it from there. So it is a little less convenient than having everything up here, but honestly, I don't know how that would even be possible. And I have a nice large space and I still don't think I'd be able to house every single stamp, die, stencil, embossing folder, etc., that we've ever released. So what you're seeing is a very small portion, but it's usually the newest stuff plus some of my old favorites. So I do have them both there. And then once some of the newer stuff becomes older stuff and I get a big box of brand new things, then more supplies go into storage. Yes, now we're on the floor. And I just wanted to come down here to show you some of the drawers where I store other products. So I do have all of my Altenew inks in these drawers here, and I have them stacked by color family, because it's easier for me just to grab the whole stack out and use the ones that I need. Most often I'm using a lot of colors from the same family because maybe I'm doing some ink blending or I might be doing some layered stamping. No, they're not color coordinated. I just kind of grab what I need, put it on my desk, and then when it's time to clean up, I just push them out of the way and stick the ones I used back in the drawer. So I have a couple of drawers of those. And again, you can see maybe on top that it's just a bunch of ink, but it's really fun because I love having all the Altenew colors. This drawer, messy, full of what I call basic supplies. So I've got some refills for glue tape. I've got extra black ink. I have my other pigment inks in here. I've got a whole bunch of adhesives. I have another satin masking tape. So anytime I run out of these supplies, I usually have backup ready to go, so I don't have to wait for another shipment to come in from the Altenew warehouse. Here I have some embossing materials, just embossing powders and things like that. And then washi tape. And in addition to the washi tape here, there's like a whole bunch of washi tape over there, and it's not organized either. But I do have a lot of washi tape and I love using all of it. I also have this container underneath my desk, and this is where I keep all of the newest stuff. So upcoming releases, things that I want to create with sooner than later, so it's easily accessible. The other stuff that I have in this room is all stored in alphabetical order. So this is just at least by release, so I know what I have and what I need to use. I do have a tiny itty bitty space heater. I'm cold all the time. But Tasneem, you know that, right? And then on the other side, I have a drawer full of envelopes, a drawer full of paper scraps that I always intend to use and typically forget that I have. And then I have 2 drawers at the bottom for product testing. And these are things that I can't show you right now because it might be some upcoming products that we're testing, or maybe some things that just weren't up to the standard of Altenew that we did not proceed with, and they're just hanging out in a drawer right now. In addition to being my filming studio and my craft room for my paper crafts, I also use this space as a sewing workshop. Sewing is my second hobby, and I love creating outfits and costumes and lots of different things for myself and for my husband. So I have a lot of sewing supplies on the other side of the room. And I love that this is a loft. So when we moved into this apartment, I knew right away that the loft had to be my crafting space. So right on the other side of this wall on the first floor is our living room and dining area. And I just love the open feel that it gives. So when you step up the stairs into this crafting space, I have all of my sewing things and my fabric. I have my sewing machine, and right over here, which I've named Sophia Loren, S-E-W, Sophia, because I love puns. And I also have my serger. I have projects here that are like partially done. So I have them in these bins, and the whole point was that they're accessible so I can easily grab them and finish them. But just like I do with paper crafts, sometimes things get started and they don't get finished right away. But I always like to have storage for partially finished projects. And over on this side, I have some drawers with embroidery thread for my sewing machine, because it also is an embroidery machine. And I have Elizabeth Taylor, and she is my dress form. And I love having a dress form because it makes it easier to create garments for myself, because I can alternate between trying things on my own body and then pinning them also to the dress form, which helps me as I'm sewing. And it's adjustable, so if I'm creating something for a friend, I can just change the dials and it changes the size. I have a fun collection of fabric, and probably more fabric than I even need for the amount of time I have to do my sewing, because it is my second hobby, and everything Altenew related and paper crafting related always comes first. So I don't know what I'm ever going to go through my stash of fabric, but again, just like paper crafts, you want to have access to as much stuff as possible. So now we've reached the last little zone of my crafting loft or crafting space, and part of it is mine and part of it's actually for my husband. So over here, I do have a garment rack, and this is where I keep either recent projects that I've sewn or things that I've bought that need some altering, and some things that just need ironing, because I do have the ironing board and the iron up here in the loft space. So I like having the garment rack so I can just hang things up and I don't forget about them. So I see them and it's like, oh yeah, I should probably iron that. Or, oh yeah, I just need to add a hem to that one garment, or I just need to take it in one little space and then I can go back to wearing it. So I do like to have those projects and garments up here. And lastly, I have this little zone. This corner is where my husband usually sits and reads his comic books while I am crafting. He likes coming up here even on his own and just chilling out with all of his favorite books. And we have a lot of art up here as well. We collect a lot of different comic book prints or originals from different comic artists. So it's really a fun space, and it's so much fun that I was able to take you on this little tour.
So here's a view of my craft room as I walk in every time I come into my space. Some other people may say it's where the magic happens. I'm going to say welcome to the Chaos Cave. This is where the chaos happens for me. But hopefully I create beautiful things with the chaos. So you can see my big, beautiful desk, which took me 6 months to pick out. And my poor husband had to go through lots of me showing him desks and him being, oh, that's so nice. Look at this, look at that, looking at the features. And then I'd be like, no, I don't like that one. And the search would continue. And when this beast showed up, it took 3 grown men to flip the top over. So you'll see there's a fabulous bottom on it and lots of storage space, which is why I love it. So let's delve into my room. So the first thing you see when you enter my room is you see my paper storage, which is from Stampin' Storage, and my trash bin, can't get away from that. But I love this storage from Stampin' Storage. I have a lot of their organizational things, which you will see. All of my fabulous new Altenew cardstock is here, and all my old Altenew cardstock is there. So for those of you that didn't know, Altenew had cardstock before the crafting necessities. And then some pictures up top of my wonderful husband, one back in the day that I just like to look at, and one of us together. And then my dad has passed, so my dad had bought me that little, I don't even know what to call it, bin, bucket, bowl, I'm not sure, in Mexico one time. And so I have that up there to remind me of my dad. And then a beautiful resin piece done by somebody from my tribe. I am both Native American in the US and First Nations in Canada. So little tip. So then we're going to kind of move here. I have 2 closets, which I would show you. This is actually a bathroom that I've turned into a closet. I just removed the toilet and the lavatory is still in there. And then I have storage. And this is a storage closet, but we're not going to go there today. Maybe another day. And then, of course, who doesn't need a 60-inch television while they're working? I don't know anybody that doesn't. And then I have this gadget. Well, I have a couple gadgets here that are litter robots for the Yahoodles. And because I share this office with 2 Yahoodles, as you know. And then we have my iVac, which is really kind of a cool little gadget. You sweep it over and you push that button on the bottom and it sucks up all the dirt. So it's fantastic. Then I have my Elizabeth, I can't remember her name, my bead storage, Elizabeth something. And then the bin that's holding all of those, again, Stampin' Storage. On top, I have all of my Copic markers, again, Stampin' Storage. So we'll continue. Or I guess, yeah, we'll continue over here and we'll do what's under the desk otherwise. So then I have this fabulous storage gadget here, which I got off Amazon and actually kind of matches my desk, which is kind of cool. And of course, we have the adorable Patrick Casey assisting with this tour. So I have fabric bins, and just to kind of show you, like in here, so I have all of my glue tape and my Altenew adhesive. These are all my Simon Hurley pastes. I have quite a few. And then we'll move over. And I have some cardstock from MFT and Simon. Down here is some plates here. And then I have some more cardstock down on that one. Not sure. It might be my wax seals. Let's see. Oh, that's all my watercolor supplies. Those are my wax seals, and those are some decorations for my office. And then my son bought me this, another fabulous item made by a tribal member from the Penobscot Nation. So absolutely love this. Just have to hang it up. So. Okay, then we come back up. Of course, up on top, I have my boring stuff like my printer, my Amanda, as we call her, my little vacuum, which it works quite well. I just got it, but it's great for my desk. And I did jump on the Olo marker train, so I'm going to try them out. I'm a crafter at heart, so Altenew is the company I use 99.99999% of the time. But I am a crafter and I like to try other crafty products. So you will see other crafty products in my office and space because I love to try everything crafty. And then I have a Brothers Scan and Cut, which I don't use very often, but as you can see, I did buy it a pretty cover. Those peeps are special. They're not just a random peep. So that big peep was actually a toy for one of my mom's dogs, Lily, who is my favorite dog ever in the whole world. And then the little peep was one my husband got when I was buying him peeps when he was going through treatment. So both peeps are very special. And so here we have the wall of inks. It's very pretty because it's got all the rainbow colors, of course, but you're going to see two littered in here, and I can kind of explain what stuff is as we go through. You're going to see I have a lot of things that mean a lot to me. So first here I have my Distress Oxides. So they start up here and come down here. I have Lisa Horton, some Hero Reactive, right? Hero Hues Reactive Glitz, and a few of the Distress inks. I don't really use them. I use the oxides more, so I've kind of tried to get rid of those now. And then I have a little sloth, a jeweled sloth, because I love him. I also have over here my high school graduation tassel, along with my college graduation tassel, which is hanging off my certificate of completion for the educator course. I have a beautiful stamp up there of a lighthouse crashing because it looks like Acadia National Park to me, and my friend told me about it. Then I have a traditional, authentic London bobby that my daughter-in-law got me when they went over there one time. My Altenew 10th anniversary enamel pin, and my graduation bear that my husband bought me for graduating college. With 2 undergraduate degrees, 2. Then I have a cute little camper from the 80s. My grandmother's dream, my mom's mom, was to get into a camper and just to drive and see the country. It never happened, but this camper actually was at her gravesite for many years. And my mom found it one day, so I took it and brought it and put it here. All right, and then over here, we have the remainder of my Altenew Crisp Dye inks, Simon Hurley, Concord 9th, and then ink on 3 over here. And then my handsome son up there, a couple of pictures with May from Altenew at one of our events, and a sign that's from my daughter-in-law's town that's beach themed that said, "This is my happy place." So perfect. There is a doll up there that my husband had during treatment that was from dear friends. So I have that. And my mom got me that cup. I don't need a good lawyer. I raised one because my son is an attorney for a nonprofit. And then I have my 2 Ralphie, well, my Ralphie and my Chip. Ralphie is the buffalo, Chip is the guy in the cup from the CU Boulder, which is where my son went. Then I have one of our previous chiefs actually painted this. It's of Mount Katahdin, which is our mountain, meaning the tribes of Maine, in Maine. And so, yeah, so that is priceless to me. So that's that one. And then I have, let me back up. So up top, I have some mousse and pastes from Tonic. And then my dad bought me those flowers one Easter. There's a really funny story behind them, but I'll save that for another day. So I have those flowers to make me giggle on hard days. I have a cup I created with a seagull, and it says, "Hold on, let me overthink this," because I overthink things all the time. I have a beautiful sign that says, "I wish heaven had visiting hours," for my wonderful husband and dad. Then my dear friend Pam got me, "When you lose someone you love, you gain an angel you know." Somebody at my husband's funeral gave me Elvis up there because we loved Elvis. And so we have that. And then I have a sloth card that says slow clap. It just cracks me up. Here I have an old stamp, I think by Christina Warner. It looks like her handwriting that says thank you, but it's behind a pack basket, again, made by somebody from my tribe. Then I have some cute little things. My friend Pam sent me the Amazon ornament, so I thought that was cute. And then I have these guys that you can kind of shake them. They're kind of bobbleheads. So I have a beaver and a moose. They crack me up. A little succulent from my friend May. I love this little creativation fish, so I saved him. My son graduating college, a project I made, and from my friend Pam, I have that. And then down here we have, I have this. This was my dad's. Sorry, a little dark. This was my dad's. He was in the Border Patrol. And so I have that to remind me of him. I made this on a trip and it's just too cute. So I have that up there. A couple white ink pads up there. Then I have this birch bark canoe, again, made by a tribal member. Oh, and the price tag's still in there. The birch tree is my dad's favorite tree. So many reasons that's important to me. I have a project I made for a video using alcohol inks at Altenew. And so I saved that, and I have some enamel pins that I need to get put away in there. And then more inks. I love ink. So if there's an ink, I want to have it. I want to play with it. I love color. I love inks. So there's that section. Okay, so we're going to begin over on the floor. So I have from Stampin' Storage, I have some drawers down here. These store like 6x6 paper pads in here. And then I also have in here some 6x8 paper pads. All the drawers are full. I have my storage stuff. So I have some magnet cards, some paper storage pockets for my 12x12, which coincidentally is right next door. Again, Stampin' Storage, 12x12 storage there, fit perfectly under my desk. Speaking of my desk, we'll look on this side. One of the reasons I loved this desk is because it had 4 of these drawers. So this one has some just bits and bobs to finish some cards, some sentiments ready to go if I need them. One of our big bouquet of poppies stamp set, 9x12 matte, all kinds of goodies in there. And then over in this one, I have some more pieces of stuff. So stuff I've made that I didn't quite finish and I hope to get back to one day. Lots of sentiments, as you can see, and my pinch bowl collection, which I have some sweaters, some cats, some gnomes, another gnome under here, and a beautiful bowl that I got in my daughter-in-law's hometown, which I like to get stuff like that so it has meaning. The cat pinch bowls I actually got in Colorado when my son was in law school. And then I have a place all set up for somebody to come craft with me. I'm ready to go. The chair is right there if you would like a chair. The other thing about this desk is I can stand and craft, which for me is critical. So I have a bad back for many reasons at this point, but and so I need to be able to stand or sit depending on how my body is feeling. So here's an overview of my desk from the opposite side. So I have my Empress and I have these, which have either stuff I haven't finished yet or I didn't know quite where to put those. I'm reorganizing. So things kind of just end there. Some tissues, kind of need those. And then of course my lighting and all my cables and my camera, my micro blending brushes, size 10, my glue for now till the glue comes out. And then this is a great invention. It gets your cords. You can keep them on your desk, but they're not all over the place, as you can see, kind of just clustered in this corner. And it also has other chargers. So I just got this off Amazon. It's a desk clamp charger, and I love it. So thought I would point that out. And then we have a cute kitty again joining us. And because I'm going to school for social work and I'm going to be a therapist, I got them a little kitty therapist couch. So they have a place to sleep when I am creating the chaos. So the next thing I have is I have this kind of spinny tower thing. On top I have all of my cubes that give like color suggestions. My friend Karen got me the Palette Scout for Christmas. So lots of ways to inspire me with color. These are full of card kits from Spellbinders and thickers and that kind of thing. So have to go through those, and I believe this one has the same type of stuff. Yes, card kits, thickers right on top, and for my journaling, which I have to get back into. My brother's scan and cut mat. I don't actually know what's in that bin, so we won't open it. I did get a new glimmer machine because my other machine died. I was so sad, but yes. Then I have a little push board here. I have a card that I saw at the Portland Museum of Art that really inspired me, so I have that. I have this from probably the 90s, and I saw somebody made this. I can't remember her name. Maybe it's on the back. Regina, that's her name. I could see her face, but not her name. And I messaged her and I'm like, I love that so much. And she sent it to me. So I've always kept that. That was the days when Prima flowers were huge and Cricut was huge. And then a rainbow heart, of course, because we love love and all loves. And then a note from Samir. I met Samir a couple years ago at Creativation, and in my next package, I got a heist from Samir. So I've kept that because it just makes me happy. In here, I have my sequins. I have some little colored cardstock, some envelopes from Altenew, kind of like a lot of little bits and bobs from Altenew, some little brushes, glue pen, and some huge foam tape. And then my bottom drawer is broken at the moment, so it's just got a few things. My extra palette knives, some envelopes, some embellishments from Altenew, some older ones. So I have quite the Altenew collection from the days. And then I love this because it holds all the Nuvo drops. I collected all of them. I don't use them, but I did collect all of them. So they're here and they're pretty, so I leave them up. And then over here, I don't want to move too fast. Over here, we'll go buy my cart. We'll go buy the air conditioner. I have down here my Platinum, which is the big Spellbinders machine. I have another one of those Stampin' Storage that holds like embossing folders and such. And this, I keep my Altenew pockets ready to go. Then we have my little cart. I've got lots of brushes, and actually this would move, but and then if we look from the front, so I've got on the side, I've got little bins to hold like my old powder tool. I have all my cardstock swatches, ink swatches from Pink Fresh, some magnets for my glass board. I just put them, ouch, on there. My heat tool, my stamp cleaner, like all the stuff I absolutely can't live without. Some paint brushes for other tasks, pencils, mixed media tools, all kinds of goodies. My alcohol spray, my water, blocks, because I still use those, microfiber cloths. Now this is like a picnic table organizer, and it holds all of my plates perfectly. Then I have some scissors and just my mini blossom plates and some other things. This really does need to be cleaned out. Next level is embossing powders. And then the bottom is like cleaners that you need. So I have some alcohol prep pads, alcohol wipes, my Gamsol, just like stays on cleaner, things I barely use, but you just kind of can't get rid of them. And more ink swatches over there. So that is my cart. Okay, and then I do have, folks have liked this. I do have on the floor, pardon the little paper pieces, I thought I got them all. I have this very large charging unit, and I can flick everything off. All the power in this room dies with the switch of that. So, which is good, you know, if you're going on vacation, even if you're leaving for the day, it's good so that your heat tool is no power. So I really like that I have the ability to turn that off with one switch, and it cuts the power to everything. Then I have all the cubes, so yep, I have all these cubes down here. You can see I have paper, I have my microfiber cloths, and then lots of other things in there. I will show you a couple of the cubes that are really important in my daily use. Up top is another place I put my own personal touch. I am getting the chicken hey in Legos. That'll be added next week, so I hopefully can add a picture to show you guys. I have my Elvis garden gnome, because again, my husband and I loved Elvis together. It was something that just was important to us. I have a sloth from Ohio. I have another, I have a Funko Pop. Let me come over. Hopefully I'm not making you sick. I have a Funko Pop Gold Lame Elvis, so very fun. A card for my dear friend Karen and Pam there. I have a cup, a sloth that says soonish. My dear Emery Casey is right there. I have a puffin, because love them. I have a chicken I got and a seagull. I got the chicken at a craft fair in Kennebunk, and I just love that chicken. And I also love my shark cat. I think my shark cat is pretty cool. Then I have more cards from dear friends, and I have my Come to the Shark side because I think it's very funny, and my hide and seek champion with the Sasquatch, and a picture of my grandmother, who meant the world to me. So she was like a second mom. So some of the drawers I said, really I use a lot. So this is one that I keep very close. My large blending tools. I have more down here because I have one for each family. Then I have my micro 7s in there. And then I also have this one here, which has one for every color. So it's not related to a family really, just a color. So, and some extra brushes in there. And then this one has all my smalls from Altenew. And then here, like I have my plates for my manual die cutting machine. I have my color wheel. I have some cardstocks. I have some big dies from Altenew. I have what I take my photos on. So that kind of stuff. A notebook, microfiber cloths. Okay, and then we'll move over. And so here we have the carousel. Yay, all the inks. Yay. Oh, my husband fell over again. He keeps falling over. And then I have that little Santa cup because I thought it was the cutest thing ever. And then I have the picture of me and my husband on our wedding day. More inks. I have my Altenew stuff here. It's super secret in the back, but in the beginning, I can show you. I just keep things that are either really new or things that I love and I know I'm going to use. Like my Timeless Sentiments will never leave. It's in that folder there. Then I have a couple of my journals, which I hope to start working on more. I have a picture of myself, my mom, my daughter-in-law, and my son at a game at the University of Colorado in Boulder. And my husband is in behind, has Portland Headlight on there. And then my dad loved Spam. So I have this because it reminds me of my dad and it just makes me laugh because, you know. And then I have these bins, which are horribly unorganized. So we won't go into those, but just a lot of storage. These are stamps and things that need to be put away. Some from last year. I'm not going to lie to you. Some's new that I got. So yeah, so that's what's in there. A sign reminding me some days you need to be reminded, and a loan stamp. I have a Bigfoot, and my friend Karen sent me those cute little sloths. They smell like lavender. They're fantastic. And my friend Pam sent me You Are My Lucky Charm. So I keep those up with my Altenew markers. Again, stamp and storage for both the marker storage and the ink storage. Okay, so now we will come around here. So you saw the other side. So over here I have my Platinum 6 and my Better Press. I have my stencil holder, which I haven't opened yet, which I'm excited to use. I have a backup Platinum 6 and then another Platinum. And then we can move the chair over. And because we're in Maine, I have a little space heater. So this drawer right here, this is where I work. So this is my work surface. This is my camera. And so I have like my obsidian, my golds, embossing inks, all of my like memory cards for my camera, glasses cleaner, controls for the fan, the little triangle holders for sequins and such, stamp wheel 2.0. My stamp wheel original one is in my suitcase still from visiting Pam. No shame in the game, gonna admit it. Haven't unpacked. And then this one has my Fiskars trimmer, which I will never give up. Love this trimmer so much. And then it also has, this drawer is like a hodgepodge. It has a couple of bookmarks that I've made. Don't know why those are in there. A pen. I used to hide those from Emery in here, so that's my guess as to why that's there. And our new permanent markers, a bunch of glue tape in here, because if I run out of one, I have another one ready to go. My powder tool, the best powder tool that has ever existed in existence. Love this thing. Let's see, and love this Teflon bone folder for making cards. It's fantastic. And I have my Altenew one as well. I like to have lots of options if you haven't been able to tell. I have this for poking my glue when my glue gets stuck. I can poke out any bottle. It doesn't matter how tall it is, because that is very tall. And then I have a little pinch bowl from my daughter-in-law's hometown, which love to have things like that. Like I said, things that have meaning. And I made a hole in my drawer. So sad. But this is why this table is so good. These 4 drawers are fabulous. Love it. Because I can fit all of this stuff in here. Now we're going under. So under here, I have on the top shelf, now there's stuff all the way in the back. I have a bunch of trimmers behind my label maker, my cutter. I have spare white cardstock. These are embellishments, my Altenew embellishments there. Then I have more Altenew embellishments, my gem sparkles, and then I have my more enamel dots and the pearls. I have for my Scout, which is still in a box, I have my plates. In here we have paintbrushes. This was a wine rack originally, but it's great for storing my mats that I have. I got 2 of those. I have mats, the silicone mats, and then my press and seal, which I'm starting to learn how to use. Yay me. And then all of my cardstock, I buy it in 11 by 17, so I can just pull it from down here. One of my blending tool storages, and then I use the Pink Fresh ink organizers to hold all my inks, and they're labeled. And down below I have my Altenew mini cubes, and then I have another blending brush. I ordered more. This was my old method of storing my blending tools, because I have one for each color, because it's my job. So I have one for each color. And then so I'm switching those over. And then I have a kitchen mat for fatigue for your feet. Because standing a long time can be painful. And then I also have up on my desk, I'll show you. So I have my 2 Altenew mats there. I have a glass board, because those are nice to have as well. And then I have, this is one of my favorite inventions as well, is this collapsible trash can. Makes me extremely happy. So I have that. And then I have this is another thing that makes me extremely happy. I put down my A3 Altenew mat to put this on. This is I call it a lazy Bridget, because I'm the lazy one. So Susan shouldn't get blamed. So it's a lazy Bridget. And it spins and it holds all of my plates for my Empress, which is my favorite electronic machine ever. So yeah. And To close out this video, the boys are snuggled up, ready to go, ready to craft. It's always good to have good assistance, my friends.
Thank you so much for watching the video. We really do hope that some of these tips and tricks make it into your craft rooms. Loved watching this video. There is more where that came from here on the Altenew official YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button so you don't miss out on any of the crafty fun. See you soon and happy crafting.